So last night on CNN, this was one of the big stories that they had up, and it's about this protester named Braxton Winston, who was a protester at the Keith Lamont Scott shooting. And basically, they said he did something about it, and he just got elected to the Charlotte City Council. And this story is exactly what the media does constantly. It's just programming you to believe that we can get people in and out of office by electing them and electing people that we like, and they can do a better job at running this government. When in reality, the government is already pre-planned out and people are selected, not elected. And you know this by, for example, when Donald Trump was selected to be the president, not elected. Just after that, we got the new game show called The Wall with LeBron James that came out. We had the movie The Great Wall of China that came out. Another movie called The Wall that came out. And think about that. All of them movies they had been making and working on for, way before Donald Trump was even running to be the president, the guy who wanted to build the wall, and he wins the election on the anniversary of the Berlin Wall falling down. And later in this video, I'm going to talk about gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words. And all of this stuff is connected this way. Our history is coded this way. Our mainstream media is always coded with gematria. Our sports leagues are scripted this way. But Donald Trump in gematria equals 48, and the word wall also equals 48. So, just so you know, this story is all about the programming to make you believe that America is still awesome and you can use the system. If you use the system in the right way, then you can make a change. When in reality, that is not how it really works. So, another thing that I noticed, just below this article, and this is how the media does things too. They code things with buzzwords and code words and whatever else. But just below this article that involved Braxton Winston, we had an article, NFL investigates allegations against Jameis Winston. And think about that in regards to the book 1984, Winston, the main character. And in the book 1984, they even talk about how the media does this stuff, The media programming people, all people care about is sports, getting drunk, whatever. That's a lot like the world that we live in right now. Getting drunk, watching the game, waking it up, doing it all over again. Not caring about what's really happening, believing in fake wars. So interesting, just the word Winston in these two. And I'll show you why both of these are actually important to civil rights. And it's all because of gematria. So, all of that being said, if you don't understand gematria, I'll leave some links in the description. Check them out and you'll understand more of what I'm talking about and you can apply this knowledge for yourself. I'll leave a link to this gematria calculator as well so you don't have to do the math in your head. Anyway, this story is important here because this guy, Braxton Winston, just got elected to the city council. And in gematria, city council equals 64. Braxton Winston equals 64. And this is important to civil rights. And think about him protesting at the Keith Lamont Scott shooting, right? All about civil rights and whatever else. Civil rights in gematria equals 64. And if you recall, the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964 by Lyndon B. Johnson, who equals 64. And if you look him up, he even died at the age of 64. So it's an important number in regards to civil rights. That's why Braxton Winston equals 64. That's why we're getting this story about him being elected to the city council that equals 64. And he was also, it says that he was elected on November 7th, 11/7. The reason that's important is because that's the 311th day of the year, and the 64th prime number is 311. And I've documented a whole bunch about these numbers in connection to lots of things, such as Rosa Parks dying, I think it was 3 months and 11 days, I think it was before her birthday, I wrote after. She died 3 months, 11 days before her birthday, Her name in gematria even equals 64. Another guy in the Montgomery bus boycott that was with Martin Luther King Jr. and whatnot was Ralph Abernathy, and he died, or he died age 64, and he was born on 3/11, right? These numbers, interrelated. Webb Du Bois died 311 days before the Civil Rights Act was passed in 64, and he was also born on 2/23. That's the day that leaves 311 days in the year. And in Francis Bacon gematria, his real name even equals 311. And he also died one day before Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. So, what are the odds of that? Also, Abraham Lincoln was elected or selected to be the president on the 311th day of the year 1864. Think about K being the 11th letter, 311. Even when I was in like 6th grade, the band 311, and they were skinheads and supposedly racist, right? Because 311, 3 is KKK or whatever, 3 times the 11th letter. They've been teaching you this when you were a little kid, but you just, you weren't taught enough of it to put it all together. So I wondered, why is Jameis Winston so significant to all of this? And I typed his name in gematria, and look what it equals in Jewish gematria, 1964. Just like the year the Civil Rights Act was passed. What are the odds of that? So also the article about Braxton Winston, it went on to tell us that, the city council won him the applause of Chelsea Clinton. I mean, think about that. Chelsea Clinton, C is the 3rd letter of the alphabet. So it's a lot like 33. Winston in gematria equals 33. Police equal 33. Think about the Rodney King shooting that happened on 3/3. Let's look at something about Rodney King here. Rodney King equals 59 in gematria. Just like Keith Scott equals 59 in reverse. Chelsea Clinton, 59. It's because 59 is this big number that is stamped on negatively on black people. The word Negro equals 59. Slave equals 59. The Civil War supposedly came to an end on 5/9 of 1865. Blues equals 59. Motown Records came out in 59. HIV is supposedly traced back to the Belgian Congo. That equals 59, and it was also in the year 1959. Booker T. Washington died age 59. There's even the John Brown from the Harper's Ferry Raid, who died age 59 on 5/9 in the year 1859 even. All throughout history, this number 59 stamped negatively on black people. Black History Month even normally ends on the 59th day of the year. So hopefully you get the point of what I'm saying. Chelsea Clinton, 59. Makes sense. Keith Scott, Rodney King. The Rodney King was even supposedly born on 4/2. The reason is because the super N-word equals 42. February, Black History Month, 42. Even has the 42nd day in it. And if you write out 5, it equals 42. And if you write out 9, it equals 42. A lot like 59. And look at how the super N-word is put together here. It's 5 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 9. That's how all of this is set up. Bus equals 42. Rosa Parks was 42 years old when she got on the bus. All of it is planned out, mapped out for a reason. So anyway, Winston 33, police also 33, 3 times 11 is 33. City Council, CC 33, Chelsea Clinton, CC 33. Think about the Rodney King beating on 3/3. Also, in the other form of gematria here, City Council, so City Council equals 64, but it also equals 53 in the non-reverse method. And that's important because the word protester equals 53 in reverse. And protester also equals 136. We'll type it out really quick so you can see it. Protester, 136, just like civil rights. So all of this, you see how all these numbers are interrelated? connected back to the same thing. And Keith Lamont Scott, in regards to civil rights, Keith Lamont Scott, he died 136 days before his 44th birthday. So civil rights, 136. He dies 136 days before his birthday. That Braxton Winston was a protester. So in regards to Jameis Winston, in this story about Jameis Winston, it said that he supposedly groped an Uber driver in 2016. Uber driver. Type it out here. Uber driver. 59 in gematria. Go figure, Uber driver, 59. And they only identified her as Kate. They wouldn't tell you her whole name. Kate equals 71. And that's important because Tampa Bay Buccaneers equals 71. Civil rights in the reverse reduced method, 71. African American equals 71. I also pointed out that it was 67 days after Jameis Winston's birthday. 67 days. Uber driver, if you noticed, Uber driver equaled 67. And he supposedly touched her on the crotch. That's the way the article mentioned it. Touched her on the crotch. Crotch, 67 even. And if you go from the Jameis Winston incident in 2016 to the Keith Lamont Scott incident, that was 6 months and 7 days apart. And it just reminded me a lot of last year. The big major stories were Philando Castile and Alton Sterling, who both equal 67 in gematria. And their stories came out on July 6th, which in most parts of the world, they write 6/7. And then we got Blue Lives Matter that came out of that. Just before it, Blue Lives Matter in gematria equals 67. In Louisiana, it was passed on a date numerology of 67. So in this blog post, I also documented about Jerry Jones for apologizing for his racially insensitive remarks at a wedding. And the reason I did that was because up here, just below this, it also had that article written in here. So I figured, I'll take a look at that. And of course, the first thing you notice about Jerry Jones being a racist and all that, Jerry Jones, 59 in gematria. How super fitting. Eminem, 59 too, just pointing that out. Eminem, rapper, the white rapper and supposed black music and whatever else, so. Anyway, in regards to Jerry Jones here, so notice Jerry Jones was born in the year 42, 1942, fitting for the super N-word. His name equals 59. And his real name is Gerald Jones, that equals 71, just like Dallas, Texas. And in this article, they even mentioned how Deion Sanders stood up for him. Deion Sanders equals 71 in gematria. And it doesn't say the exact date that he did this at the wedding, but if it was in 2013 after his birthday, he would have been 71 years old even. So possibly he was only 70, but if it was any time after October 13th, he was even 71 years old. So hopefully you get the gist of, why we got this article and these two Winstons that are connected to civil rights stuff. I'm going to finish the video off. I just wanted to point out a few more things. I'll leave some links in the description as well that go a lot more in depth with the 59 and the 42 connections and how it's connected to the Civil War and a bunch of other things. But in the video, I call W.E.B. Du Bois W.E.B. Du Bois because I honestly had no idea how to pronounce his name. And Google Translate even said it was Du Bois, so disregard that I mispronounced the name, but the information in that video is, undeniable, But in gematria, Malcolm X equals 93, and Malcolm X died 9 months and 3 days after his birthday. And Martin Luther King Jr. in gematria also equals 93. And 228 the big way, and Malcolm X died 2 months, 28 days before his birthday, a lot like 228. And this is significant because Martin Luther King died 2 months, 21 days after his birthday, and Malcolm X was born on 2/21. And they both died age 39. The reflections of 93, they both equal 93. They both die age 39. This is even significant to Charlotte in regards to Keith Lamont Scott and whatever else. Charlotte equals 39. Notice the super N word too. 102, just like Charlotte. So super fitting. The Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, you notice that it was also 60. Abraham Lincoln equals 60. And he became the president in 1860. He's super synced up. But like I said, check out some of the links in the description. Just wanted to make a quick video showing how these stories are connected to civil rights and whatever else. Have a good one. Peace.